Hello everybody. Just give us a few minutes here, see if anybody jumps on. But if they don't, I guess they can watch it later. A few people I told I was going to do this tonight, so we'll see if they are up this late and going to watch. Some of them already know what I'm going to talk about anyway. So we'll just see. We will talk about it in just a couple more minutes. Looks like I got one person popping on here. Not sure who it is, but you know, say hello. So, got a couple things up on my screen. Not sure if you can see them or not. Can you, whoever's watching, can you see a couple pictures up on my screen? Hopefully. Hopefully you can. We'll see here in a minute. Probably post it on my Facebook later as well. So if you can see the two things up on my screen. Today my wife and I were at the Goodwill store in Adrian, Michigan. We don't go there that often since we don't live there anymore, but we do try to stop in there on occasion when we are in town for something. So I don't know about your Goodwill stores where you live, wherever you're watching from, but this particular Goodwill store, as soon as you walk in the front door, I wish I would have taken a picture of it. I did not. Kind of upsets me that I forgot to take that picture, but I guess after the explanation, and you understand why I was mad. You understand why I just left. But as you walk in the store, there's a big sign at the front door that says, you know, it's got a color on it, like yellow, blue, red, whatever the color of the week sale is. The color of the week. Not the color of the day, but the color of the week sale. So today we walked in, just happened to be yellow was the color of the week sale. And I guess the reason that I paid attention to this particular situation is because we'd already talked to this Goodwill store about this kind of situation, like I think 2 years ago, maybe now. I posted something about it on Facebook as well back then, whenever it was. The color of the week sale was yellow. So we did go in there for a specific thing today, not just really to browse. I mean, we would have browsed, but I went in there to find something that I was actually looking for myself. And we're walking around, and I go back into the men's clothing section where the shirts and stuff were. Was one of the items I was looking for. There happened to be a Goodwill worker in the same row. She had one of the carts that they bring clothes out from the back on, the wheeled carts. They bring them out and then they start stick them on the racks out on the floor, on the sales floor. So I'm standing there and I noticed that she's taking things off of the clothes rack where I'm looking, and she's putting them on the rolling cart. I couldn't tell at that point what colors she was pulling off the rack. I was trying to, and I think she realized I was trying to figure that out. I'm not sure, but she definitely kept looking at me. So I watched her pull a bunch of clothes off the rack, and she put them on her rolling rack, and then she took them to the back of the store. You know, back in the back where we can't go shopping. So I was pretty sure that she was pulling the yellow tagged items off the shelf, since we have already caught this particular Goodwill store doing that before. So I was kind of hanging out, watching, looking for my stuff. Here comes the same person, the employee, out of the back of the store with another empty rolling rack. So at that point, I seen where she was going, and I had already looked at that particular rack, and there happened to be suits, jackets, and stuff. You know, just the jackets of a suit on the rack, and they were yellow. I mean, I specifically already looked at them to know what they were. She walks over and, or the employee, I mean, not she, the employee walks over and starts removing items from the sales rack, taking them off the rack, putting them over on the rolling rack. Which, as soon as she took the first one off, I seen that it was a yellow tagged item. Which, there was a few yellow tagged items in that particular spot that I've seen. And she was removing all of them. And like I said, the color of the week's sale was yellow. Now, right up here in this picture that's on my screen, you see it. There's a tag with an L on it, and it's blue. But the color of the tag itself doesn't matter. But the little plastic doohickey thingy, the little whatever they call them, that they put on the clothes that the arrow is pointing to, on this particular case it was blue. But those are what they were removing off the shelf, the ones that had the yellow on them. And like I said, color of the week sale was yellow. So I got a video here that I took of the employee. Hopefully you can see what I'm kind of trying to point out in the video. I'm not certain how well I got it. We did try to blur the employee's face out. Thanks to my son, he tried to do it. I think he did a pretty decent job. It ain't the best. I'm not a professional at taking the video or, trying to blur somebody's face out. But I did that, I think, as far as I can tell. I'm going to push play on the video. You'll be able to, hopefully you can see the video play, which I'm pretty sure that you can. And you'll see the individual removing. Right here in this picture, right there, you can see like a tan jacket right there. There's something camouflage, but then there's a tan thing right behind it. Pretty sure that's one of the items that she removes as well. But hopefully in the video you can see what I'm talking about. Hold on just a second here. Let me play this. So you can see there's a couple jackets right there already on the shelf, or on her rolling rack.
Like a scarf or something.
His rolling rack, I should say, because it's actually a guy. I don't know why I keep saying it, but both of those items that are on that rolling rack have yellow tags. And there's another one they put on there. They're going through those on the rack, and they're removing the items that have the yellow tag on them. And like I said, yellow is the color of the week's sale. Look at it. There's 4 or 5 items the person removes. And then I walked by. That was me just trying to make my video. And I walked by. So, the problem of it is, why are they removing yellow? And why do I care? Right? I guess is what some people might ask. But I went up to another employee, not that employee. I went up to another employee. And I asked her, she was actually putting clothes on the racks from a rolling rack. Mind you, there was no yellow on them. But I asked her, I said, ma'am, I'm very curious. Your sign up there says the color of the week is yellow. When does that sale start? She goes, actually it started today. Starts on Monday. I was like, okay. So this was Monday afternoon, probably, I'm guessing we were there about 3:30, 4 o'clock, somewhere between 3 and 4. So I don't know what time they open. I'm assuming they open at 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. This particular Goodwill in Adrian, Michigan. So I was like, okay, thank you. And I just walked around some more. And that person that was removing them, he, I should say, was still removing them from the rack as I was walking around. Finally, I seen the manager come out because somebody else was needing some help. So the manager came out from the back. And as the manager got done helping the people she was helping and went to walk to the back of the store, I stopped her and I asked her, I said, ma'am, I got a couple questions for you. And she goes, okay, go ahead. And I said, I'm just curious why you have an employee that I've witnessed. And I said I did make a video of that person, just so you know. And that employee is removing all the yellow tags off of the shelf. But the sale of the week is yellow, and the sale started today. She goes, well, that's our policy. We spend the week removing all the yellow or all the color of the week items from the racks and the shelves in the whole store, because this, we rotate our inventory out. I was like, but the sale started today. If you remove them today, how can myself or any other customer buy your items that are on sale? And she goes, well, it takes a whole week to take the colors off the shelf. She goes, we don't do it in a day. So I said, so it takes you guys a whole entire 7 days to remove the certain color of tags from the store? It takes you a week to do that. She goes, oh yeah, easily takes us a week. She goes, we actually just finished up yesterday removing last week's color. I was like, okay. So I said, so you're not really having a sale of a color for the whole entire week. She goes, what do you mean? And I says, well, if I'm coming in here on Friday, I'm thinking when I don't see no yellow tags that, other customers beat me to it. I just didn't get lucky to get here in time to get something yellow. And I said, but I'm being told by you that I didn't have a chance anyway because you guys are removing them from the shelf. I said, I don't think that's fair. I said, when a customer walks through that door, I look every time I come through the door to see what color of the week the tag is for. I said, just in case I get lucky and I find, something I need or want that's on sale. I said, who doesn't like a sale? And I said, sometimes I might buy it and I don't even need it because it's on sale. Kind of stupid, but, that's the case. It's like, well, I might want it, so I'll just buy it because, heck, it's 50% off, so I'm going to buy it. But but you guys are already removing them before we can even buy them, so I don't understand how it's a sale. And the manager told me that it is the policy of the corporate office that they remove them that way. So I was like, okay. I was getting pretty frustrated with the manager, I'll be honest. I don't think I raised my voice. I did 2 years ago when this happened. I got pretty upset and raised my voice to the employees, which, it is what it is. But the lady told me that the corporate office is the one that makes the decisions on how the sales work. I was like, okay. Just so happens in Adrian, Michigan, like I said, this happened in Adrian, Michigan, the corporate office is just not even a mile away, maybe a half mile away. I know where it's at. It's right, if anybody's in Adrian and they want to go chat with them, it's right next to the Lowe's store, right next door. It's where Goodwill used to be before they built the current store. So we drive over there to the corporate office because, that's where I was told to go by the manager. So I drive over there and go inside, and the receptionist that was working there, she was already talking to somebody. So when that person left, I went up and I talked to her. And I told her what I was there for and why I was, sent over there from the actual Goodwill store. And when I explained to her what was happening in the store, here you got a receptionist. Now, like I said, just a receptionist. At least that's the job she was performing when I was there anyway. She said that didn't seem right, that they were removing those colors off the rack on the first day of the sale. I was like, I agree. So she called somebody. I'm pretty positive the person she called's name was Sue, but don't quote me because I didn't write it down, because like I said, I'm not a professional, so I didn't write this information down. This is all coming from right up here, which is kind of forgetful sometimes. So she calls and she tells me before she calls, she goes, I'm just letting you know now that our office closes at 4 o'clock, so if she doesn't answer, it's not that I'm not trying to get a hold of her, it's that she might have already left for the day. I was like, okay. So she calls, phone rings once, somebody answers. She explains to the lady that I have a situation that I would like to discuss, and I was sent to their corporate office from the actual Goodwill store. So she sends down a gentleman down to talk to me, and we go inside and we stand there and talk. And I explained to this gentleman what happened in the store and what I witnessed, and that I felt that was in my opinion, false advertising. And he goes, well, we kind of, out of the years of doing this kind of work, we know what items sell and what items don't sell. And so we got to rotate our items, so after they've been on the racks for so long, or the shelves, or out on the floor in general, we will rotate them out, with other items that we've got in. And like I said, this is a Goodwill store. So me and all of you watching, all of you out there watching this, you might donate your stuff to Goodwill. That's fine. Sometimes you might even ask for a receipt to say you donated it so you can use it on your taxes. If you're like me, I get a receipt and then I lose it before tax time. So, doesn't do me no good. So basically, I just give it to them and have nothing coming back towards me. Not a big deal. I made the choice to donate. That's understandable. And if somebody else makes a choice to donate, they do. But we are donating to this particular organization because they say they help. They help people get jobs. People with disabilities get jobs. They put people to work, right? That's why we donate money to them. But if anybody shops at Goodwill, you've probably noticed that their prices have went up. Prices have went up. Now, Walmart, Myers, all those stores, their prices got to go up because they're buying their items from somebody, right? So with inflation, their prices need to go up because they probably cost them more to buy said item. But with Goodwill, their prices are going up, but the cost to them for that item didn't go up at all because it's all a donation. I don't go there and say, hey, I'm going to donate my t-shirts to you now, but last year I donated them for $0. This year I'm going to donate these to you, but I want a quarter a piece. Our cost didn't go up for Goodwill. Goodwill still gets the items for free every day from whoever donates them. Now, I was told that the items are taken off the shelf. They are sent back to the warehouse, and then what's the warehouse do? They recirculate them out to another Goodwill and put them on the shelf at another Goodwill. So the items are sold. So the reason they're taking them off the shelf when it's on sale is because they don't really want to sell them on sale. They want to pull them off the shelf and send them to the next Goodwill to sell them for full price. So how fair is that to me, you out there watching, the consumer, when you walk in the store and see a sale, but you can't find the sale because they've taken it off the shelf themselves? You, people watching, didn't go buy it before me. I mean, you might find something on the shelf. They say it takes a whole entire week to take the items off the shelf. So I don't know. If it does, it does. But I don't think it can. Because my wife and I have been there. I literally, 2 years ago when we were in there, they were filling shopping carts up with the color sale of the week items. Like just bam, 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 filling carts up and shoving them in the back. I understand rotating the inventory. That needs to happen, right? If it's been on, they say it's a 5-week rotation. The items come on the floor and they stay on the floor for 5 weeks, and then they rotate them out for new items. I get it. If it hasn't sold in 5 weeks, it may not sell, right? So let's take it off the shelf, put something else up, and see if it sells in the next 5 weeks. But, which I told the guy, I said, I understand that. But I said, why are you pulling the items off the shelf the week of the sale? I mean, the way that should be done, in my opinion, and I've discussed it with about 5 or 6 other people. I did a poll, a poll, like the news always says they do a poll. I called and talked to 5 people that I know that shop at Goodwill. So at least they shop there. I didn't talk to somebody that don't even shop at Goodwill. Talk to people that shop at Goodwill. I'm not pulling a poll for, where it's, I want all one side and the other people want the other side, but I only pull one side. I pulled Goodwill shoppers. What is your opinion? That's what I ask. So here's what I would like to ask people, whoever watches this video. And I would like to have information come back to me if at all possible too. I would like you to go to your local Goodwill if you shop there. I mean, if you don't shop there and you want to go do this anyway, that's fine. That'd be great because I'm curious. I would like you to send me a message through whichever platform you're watching this video on, and tell me the answer to these questions you get from Goodwill. Don't ask them from one individual, one employee. Go into a Goodwill. If your store has a sale of the week, I should say. I know there are some Goodwills that only have a sale of the day, but I guess you could still ask the question. If it's a sale of the day, you say, okay, today is, say the tag, it's right here on my screen, right there on my screen. It's a blue tag, and the little thing the arrow is pointing to is blue. So walk into your store and say, ask them what the color of the week sale is. Some stores have them, some don't. And some stores, they only do it one day, like a Wednesday. And it's, this week on Wednesday, it's going to be blue. Maybe. Our particular Goodwill we go to, it's the sale of the week. So it starts on Monday morning and goes all the way to Sunday night. Ask them pertaining to what day the sale is, however it works. If it's a sale of the week, say, what day of the week does your sale start? And if they tell you Monday, that's kind of like ours. Our sale started on Monday. And say, okay, awesome, thank you. And then, you can walk around the store. If you're there on a Monday, that's the perfect time to do it. Once you find out what day of the week it is anyway. Go in there like we did about 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Monday. Just walk around the store. Walk up and down the aisles. Look, see if you see any of that color of the week tags on the shelf. If you see a bunch of them, maybe they don't remove them at that store. But if it's like our store, you can walk up and down the aisle on Monday afternoon, and you're going to hardly see any because they're removing them from the store for you, so we can't purchase them. So just ask them that question, and then you could, once they give you that answer, you can then in turn ask the manager, say, hey, I'm curious. Now, if you notice them removing the stuff, if there is none on the shelf, the second question to ask is, do you guys remove these items? And if you do, what day do you start removing the items? So, because I was told that our store does it the whole entire week. They start today, and they remove them for the next 6 days. They remove the color from the shelf. Find out what your Goodwill employee answer is to that. Once you get those answers, ask to speak to, if this is you, if you'd like to ask questions and, get to the bottom of things, ask to speak to the manager. And, if you get to speak to the manager, ask the manager why they are removing the sale color off the shelf during the sale. Because in my opinion, that's false advertisement. Deceptive advertising, however you want to look at it, whatever words you want to use. It's more deceptive maybe than false. Because if they leave, every once in a while they leave a color on the, a sale tag on the rack. So there are a couple of them in the store. That's not false advertising. As long as there's one in the store, that's not false advertising. But it's deceptive advertising if you think you're going to be able to go in there and find something on sale. It's very deceptive of them. So please, go to your Goodwills, ask those questions, and see what happens. And if they tell you to go to the corporate office, if it's close, it just so happens our corporate office was, half a mile away. So we went over there, and I talked to them. But like I said, the gentleman told me that, yes, that's their policy, is to start removing the items the day of the sale. And I said, well, don't you see that that would be not a way to do things? I told the gentleman, I said, I myself personally did not come into your store looking for sale items. I said, I can pay your full price. It's not a big deal. But I said, I'm asking this question because I guarantee there might be customers that will come into your store on Monday because all they possibly can afford is to buy that thing at half price. And I said, you guys are a store that get the items donated to you, and then you turn around and sell them to us, the customers. I said, if I'm a customer that can't afford to pay full price, then I know that your particular store does a sale for a whole entire week of a color. Guess what? I'm going to come in there and I'm going to try to find what I need on sale. That's what I'm hoping to do. But I said, at this point, you guys are taking it off the shelf, so we cannot buy it on sale. And I said, that's not fair. The item should stay on the shelf unless bought by a customer until the end of the sale. Plain and simple. Next week, you start removing the items from the sale when it's a different sale color. But I said, and then next week, if the yellow is still on the rack as you're removing it, because you say it takes all week to do it, you're going to possibly sell some of that stuff again at full price. So, because I'm not going to expect you to sell it to me for half price next week, because your sale was this week for that color. Next week, I'm going to come in and look for blue half off, or whatever color it may be. But the individual at the corporate office for the Goodwill in Adrian, Michigan, he did take my phone number and my name, and he asked me if I expected a call back from him or someone within the corporate office in regards to my complaint. And I told him I definitely want a call back from somebody. And I asked him specifically to make sure the callback is from somebody above him. Not him. I mean, if it's him, it is at him. It's okay. But I did specifically tell him I wanted it to be somebody above him. There's no reason why somebody else can't answer the question. And if that's their policy, then their policy needs to change. Because you and me, the customer of a Goodwill store, I'm the only one that should be buying the item before you. Another customer should make that item disappear off the rack, not a Goodwill employee. If a Goodwill employee is taking it off the shelf before the sale is over, that's deceptive advertising, or false advertising, however you want to look at it. I've already brought this to their attention 2 years ago, I think it was, and I made a social media post then. I didn't have a YouTube channel and all that good stuff. I just did it on, that wonderful Facebook. I posted it on there. And just people on my friends list, that seen it. That's all that really saw it. And, and maybe somebody shared it with somebody else, whatever. But there was lots of complaints that made it to the store. I was told the next time I went in the store at that point in time that they had changed their ways. Never really paid no attention to it till I happened to see it happening again today. So they are removing, if you look here, you got the tag that says the L on it in my screen. That was not today's color. We didn't get today's color because they were taking them off the shelf. So I couldn't take a picture of today's color because there wasn't none to take a picture of. The store probably opens up maybe 8 o'clock in the morning, 9. And by 3 o'clock, the racks were pretty close to being empty of the color of the week sale. So if your Goodwill does the color of the day sale, the problem of it is the color of the day is going to be even harder to do unless they can put a sign up saying the color of the day is blue, and you walk in the store, they could have removed the blue the day before. But if they're honestly doing it, the color of the blue tags, there should be some in the store somewhere. And I actually might make another trip back to this same Goodwill this week, possibly. We'll see. Haven't made up my mind yet. Or I might wait till next week, another week when another color is coming up, and see what the shelves look like. I can't really go in on Saturday and look around, because then people like you and I, the customers, we could have bought it all by then. I mean, I can't imagine that if the stuff has stayed on the shelf for 5 weeks per their policy, that just because it's on sale, it's all going to disappear in 1 week. I don't see that happening. I guess it's always possible. I just don't see it happening. So, like I said, this video that I'm going to play again, just so people can see it, and I'll explain it as it's playing, maybe. This is an employee that, this employee right here, we're trying to blur out the person's face. There's a rack there with some stuff on it, and we'll see that person here in a second. Put another thing. There's a couple items on the rack already, and you will see the person put something else on it. Everything that person put on that rack, right there, you can't see it in the video, but actually right on the sleeve of this jacket right there is a yellow tag. Everything they're taking off the rack, they're putting on a rolling rack, has got a yellow tag on it. Everything. I'd already tried to buy something off of that same rack on the other side when I was looking for my shirts. There was no yellow on it, but that person was in the same row as me, ahead of me, taking the items off. I did not ask nothing of that employee because I didn't want that employee to question what I was going to do, because I was going to make a video like I just did. So I figured if I had questioned that person why they were doing it, then I came back over and started to take a video of them, they would have known what I was doing. So I didn't question that employee, I questioned another one. So this is my thoughts about Goodwill. You and I are donating things to them for free. No cost to get the items that they're selling back to you and I. You might donate a shirt tomorrow to my Goodwill, and it'll be on the shelf on Thursday. I might go in and buy it. But darn it, you might have given it to me if you'd have known I needed it. But of course, we don't know each other, so you don't know I need that shirt. So my opinion is, find another place to donate your stuff, another kind of thrift store, one that's, seems, we got one in the town we live in that we really like. We haven't donated anything yet since we lived in this town, I don't think, for that kind of stuff. But if we do, that's where it's going. Prices are reasonable. They do sales all the time, so it's really good. And we've bought lots of stuff there. So I like the condition of the stuff. I have a harder time finding stuff there clothes-wise because there's a small store. They don't have a lot. But yeah, find a better place to donate your stuff to. Goodwill says they're helping people. But are they really? They are putting people to work. I mean, yes, people have jobs. And supposedly they help people, learn new jobs and things like that. I'm not saying they don't do something, but their cost for, maybe renting their building or their utilities, that kind of stuff, I'm sure that goes up with the inflation. I mean, I'm sure that goes up. But the price of the item that they're selling to you and I doesn't go up because they didn't buy it. It was given to them. It was given to them. Yeah, 100%. And you can't even guarantee it works. Heck, I seen them selling a snowblower at our Goodwill today. A snowblower at Goodwill. I'm not saying it doesn't work. Didn't try it, so I don't know. But the price tag on the snowblower at Goodwill was $250. $250 for a snowblower at Goodwill. It was 100% donated to them. Maybe they had to make it run. Who knows? Can't say they didn't. But $250 for a snowblower. In my opinion, too much. Too much for something that was donated. And it's going to be some people that probably complain about me complaining about Goodwill. Sorry. If you don't like it, complain. That's your right. But this is also my right to complain about what I see is happening, of them doing some deceptive advertising towards their customers. This is, like I said, I'm only pointing out the Goodwill in Adrian, Michigan, because that's the one this happened at. I did find out from the corporate office there happens to be a Goodwill in Saline, Michigan, that is under the same umbrella of corporate. So they probably have the same policy there as well. And I don't know what other Goodwills are under there. I think it's Goodwill of Southeastern Michigan. So there might be some, maybe Dundee or Monroe or something like that, wherever there are other Goodwills in the southeastern Michigan area that follow the same rules. I know we go to a Goodwill. We went to one up in Cedar Springs, Michigan. I don't even remember if they even do a sale. I think if they do, it's one day a week, just one day, and it's a certain day. Not it's like every Tuesday or whatever it may be. So, it is what it is. If there's no sale, then you plan on paying full price. But if there is a sale, you should be able to see some of that stuff on the shelf, especially within the first 8 hours of the sale. Can't imagine their shelves would empty in 8 hours. So, but that's my complaint. That's what I'm talking about with Goodwill. Now I'm going to put up a flyer here on this lovely screen. Now, this has nothing to do with Goodwill, of course. But if you are watching this and you're in Michigan, or even if you're not in Michigan, this Saturday, April 22nd, up in Big Rapids, Michigan, at the Majestic Frisians Horse Farm, there's a rally going on, Green Township Rally, and it's from 1 to 5 on this Saturday. It's no go on Goshen. And if nobody knows what this is, I did a live stream a week and a half or so ago in regards to this up in Big Rapids, Michigan. Our lovely governor, our lovely Michigan governor here, and other people, politicians, have so far tried to okay a deal for this company of Goshen to build a battery plant in Big Rapids, Michigan. And this particular battery plant is going to have, supposedly bring lots of jobs. Awesome, great, right? Bring lots of jobs, they say. But she gave them I'm drawing blanks on numbers, multiple millions of dollars worth of tax breaks to bring the company to Michigan. And then I think it was 30 years tax-free, paying no taxes for 30 years. If I remember correctly, it was like $715 million or something like that for the tax incentives to bring them here. This particular town, if anybody knows anything about Big Rapids, it has Ferris State University there, which, from my understanding, is a very nice university. I know a few people that have went to school there. I know one that is currently going to school there. Now, I don't know if the person currently still lives in the dorms or not. It's going to school there that I know. But she did in the beginning. And she had to pay to live in the dorms to go to school there. But for the first 3 years, they're going to house like 350 Chinese workers in the Ferris State dormitories for free. They're giving them these dorms for 3 years for free. Now, you've got U.S. citizens that are trying to go to this school that have to pay to stay in those dorms while they go to school for, 2 years, 4 years, 6 years, whatever it may be, whatever the length of their school time is. But they got to pay to be in those dorms. And it ain't cheap. But here they're going to allow these Chinese people to come over here to work at this plant. So if they bring 300 people, if that's what they bring over here to work at this plant, then that's 300 U.S. citizens that ain't going to work in that job. and this is brought here to bring workers, give U.S. people jobs, but they're bringing people over here. Now, if you Google Goshen, now I can't guarantee it does it today because I haven't done it, but I have done it. They have some bylaws posted on their page. It says that they must have CCP law, Communist China Party law, at this company. So, I mean, it says it right in their bylaws. And this is all in English writing. Goshen is a U.S. company, supposedly. But they got major ties to the CCP. So come on out. I guess, it's your right to counter-protest too, but in my opinion, I don't think I would, because I think there's going to be a lot of American flag waving patriots there. And, that's what you want to mess with. So be it. I don't think it'll fare well for you. This is not California where people run scared from, people that want to come counter-protest. We're going to definitely stand our ground. There ain't no doubt about that. So, please, come show up. Majestic Frisians Horse Farm, 217, looks like, I can't tell what it is. 19 Mile Road, Big Rapids, Michigan. Let me see if I can make it bigger. Let's see. Yeah, there's the address. 21750 19 Mile Road, Big Rapids, Michigan. Majestic Frisians Horse Farm. It's going to be a rally. Come on up and support. If you don't want the CCP bringing their people and their laws and their companies in here, then, come on up and help support it. If you are wanting it, then I guess come support that too, but not just sure what your, how you will be received, I guess. I don't know. I'll be there. My plan is to be there. I'll plan to be making some live stream videos, maybe just a regular video and post later too, but I'll do some live streaming, see how it goes. Come on up. I definitely know some other American patriots that will be waving some flags probably that will be there. Come up and join us. And even if you're not in Michigan, come on up. Right there's the address. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. Let's show this lovely Governor Whitmer. Wait a minute, what is it? Oh, Whitmer. I'm sorry. Whitmer, not Whitmer. Let's show her that we're not okay with this. Let's show her that, we want to have U.S. companies make batteries. I'm sure that there's somebody out there that can do it. So, all right, everybody have a good evening. Enjoy your time. Please get back to me, and let's make this stuff happen. If we don't stand up now, it's going to make it harder and harder to stand up. I do know that I will put this out there, and I don't have no flyer, no information. My plan is to be at this place right there. That right there. I'm going to be there. That's where I plan on being on Saturday. But in Hastings, Michigan, Saturday, there's also a Second Amendment rally going on as well. So, go wherever you want. There's 2 rallies. Both of them are for definitely, freedoms, one way or the other. But in my opinion, full-heartedly for the Second Amendment, don't get me wrong, 100% for it. But that one's written in stone. Yeah, they're trying to take it away, right? They are. There's people trying to take the Second Amendment away from it, but not written in stone. It's written on paper, of course, but it means something. There's already something in place to make that stay, hopefully. Anyway, they keep trying, but it's not going over very well for them. But this right here, of building this battery plant, right now there's nothing to keep that from happening, right? Nothing. If the states allow it, it's coming. The property that they plan on using for this battery plant hasn't even have any environmental studies done on it. They say there has been, but there hasn't. And it's already been proven. Now, I was just read something earlier today that supposedly there are some people that were for this, that now after the rally that happened a couple weeks ago, there are some people against it now. So that's what we need. We need to make sure that We just don't bend over backwards and just say, yep, come on in. You know, our border's already open, so their workers are probably already coming across the southern border already. You know, they said there's been a huge influx of, you know, Chinese nationals coming across the border. Maybe they're coming to Michigan. Maybe they're coming up here to, who knows? Maybe they're going to even come here and build this place. You know, maybe it ain't even going to be U.S. workers that gets to build the factory that they're trying to put in. Who knows? Because they're going to pull fast ones on us all day long if we allow it. So please show up and let's choose some freedom. Let's say no go on the Goshen. Look them up. Look up Goshen. Google that company and read what it says about that company. If you're okay with it, I'm sorry for you. But if you're not okay with it, let's go against it. All right, long enough. All right, everybody have a good night. And, you know, reach out to me about Goodwill. If you didn't get, you know, go back, watch the video from the beginning when it's posted. And get with me about your Goodwill. Send me messages. Let me know if you go and ask questions. Let me know what you find out. Because I'm very curious to know. All right. Have a good night. Thank you. Bye.
Should have just left it at the one and done the